precise in his role. Okay, now I'll hand it over to Priyanka to continue the presentation on mediation.
Thank you so much. Wonderful insights. So, sorry for this technical delay. It probably happens every time that it's some stuck up with me. So, there's this one picture that I want all of you to see and probably observe. Can everyone see the picture? Can someone give me an observation from the picture? What do you see? There are stages to the same picture.
Now, literally, the illustration is as.
Can anyone make an observation and let me know what can you make by the final findings? So the first stage and the last stage. Okay, I will just elaborate.
Having it together.
Yes, they are collaborating to get the solution. So the first stage, what is happening exactly is both the donkeys, I would say, they are trying to, feed on the fodder that they can see just on their side, because their vision is only till that end. So they are fighting and they have a rope tied to the neck, which means that they cannot go further than that limit. So they are both trying to reach what they can see as their wanting, right? Or the point of. Now the point of conflict is the thread. They can't move ahead. So that is where they are limiting themselves. Now after some time they struggle for a lot, and then by the fourth picture you see they are sad and they're sitting. And then they suddenly start talking, probably in their language, which I can't understand, neither can anyone of us can. So they probably start talking, and the moment they start talking, they realize that, okay, so probably they have a conversation saying, what is your problem? He said, there's some fodder there and I can't go because this stupid thread that I'm sorry for the language, this thread is there tied to our neck. And then probably the other one is saying, yes, there's fodder in this side too. So maybe we can go together. And that's what they do. So they eat both of that together. Right? So that is collaboration, which we precisely do in mediation as well. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying not to get into the legal part of it, because we will discuss about it at length later on. I'm trying to give you the idea and the concept of what mediation is, how it started and what it went through. Okay? We've discussed about this story. There's a very famous quote which I really, really like. So the quote says, the notion that most people want black-robed judges, well-dressed lawyers, and fine-paneled courtrooms as the setting to resolve their disputes is not correct. People with problems, like people with pains, want relief, and they want it as quickly and inexpensively as possible. What it means is, let's say you are ill, okay, and you're not feeling well. So what you would want is probably somebody who would cure you immediately. Probably somebody who would come to your place and give you some medicine and you get cured at the cheapest possibility, rather than going to a 5-star hospital where you will have very pretty doctors sitting and a fine room where you will be diagnosed and probably talked for ages. It is much like that. When you are in a conflict, your brain ceases to feel normal. So you are not healthy mentally anymore. What happens is whenever we are talking about litigation or conflict, we generally tend to avoid the mental harassment and the agonies that we go through while going through the litigation. So what happens is, since your mind is not in its absolute good condition, so you are somewhere not fine. So much like ill people, you want to get it cured. Right? Does everyone agree with me? Okay. Now this is the most comprehensive definition of mediation. I was glad to actually hear the definition that was said out loud in the morning, and it actually pointed out to a couple of really good points. So when I say mediation, I don't particularly use the word voluntary. Okay? Can anyone tell me why it's not okay to use the word voluntary at this point of time? Okay, so let's say when you go under the court and the court sends you for mediation under Family Ordinance Act, right? We were talking, right? So does that mean the process is voluntary?
No.
Somebody's forcing you into it. So can we say that somewhere this part of voluntariness gets curbed? Because somebody's forcing you into the process? That
sometimes
that.
it's
Sorry.
sometimes it's a force, but another time, yeah, maximum time it's a voluntary, but sometimes it's a force. It's a family law ordinance. It's a procedure. It's a maintain a mediation. Is a very good process in this time when there are conflict between the family disputes. That time they are force the sometimes. It's
হ্যাঁ, they definitely force it. ওরা ফোর্স করে কারণ ওইটা তাদের জন্য ভালো, তাই তো? সেটাতেই তারা অ্যাকচুয়ালি মানে তাদের ভালো হবে লিটিগেশনে না গিয়ে, তাই জন্য ফোর্স করা। দ্যাটস অ্যাবসলিউটলি কারেক্ট। But when I say voluntary completely, what happens is basically in a lot of jurisdictions, since I'm talking about mediation throughout, in a lot of jurisdictions that voluntariness is actually curved in the way that nobody forces you to settle. I repeat again, nobody in any jurisdiction forces you to settle in a mediation agreement. You can walk out with a reason. You cannot agree to settle, so it's not coercion. Okay, nobody is forcing you. কেউ জবরদস্তি বলবে না যে তোমাকে মিডিয়েশন করলে এগ্রিমেন্ট করতেই হবে, সেরকম কোথাও লেখা নেই। কিন্তু অনেক জায়গায় বলা হয় যে তোমাকে মিডিয়েশনটা করতেই হবে, কিংবা তোমাকে মিডিয়েশনের এতটা প্রসেস অবধি বসতেই হবে। Now the benefits of it is a lot of times people are not aware of what mediation is. Okay, so to spread that awareness, it is necessary. A lot of times people do not understand that mediation is probably the best suitable thing for their particular conflict. Okay, so there are many other reasons, and there's a huge research topic on that. Kevin and I have been talking about that as well, mandatory mediation, so that's a different thing. But what I mean to say is I try to avoid using voluntary when I say. What I use instead is a flexible process. Okay, it's not a restricted process, it is a flexible process. So the this definition has been given by CEDAR. It's a South Asia Pan Mediation Association, much like BEAMS. Okay, so the definition is it's a flexible process conducted confidentially in which a neutral person actively assists parties in working towards a negotiated agreement of a dispute or difference with the parties in ultimate control of the decision to settle and terms of resolution. Okay. Now all of you can see that there are certain words which I have highlighted in red. The words which are highlighted in red actually define the characteristics of what a mediation is. So when we are talking about mediation, the process has to be flexible. Right. Now can someone tell me what could possibly mean by a flexible process? Flexible মানে কি হতে পারে? As sir pointed out, if you are a mediator, you don't really need to be in a formal attire. Okay. What time? You have a fixed time for courts, right? You have a fixed pattern of cases. Everything, the entire process is controlled. It is not flexible. You can't do it as you wish. You can't do it as the parties wish. In mediation, on the contrary, I won't say that the entire process is not guided. It is of course guided, but it is not as fixed as a court process. Okay, so you can probably wear something which you are comfortable with. You can probably choose a time which is a Sunday because you think the party which is coming with you for the conflict and the mediator, all three of you are free. You can probably do this mediation, probably, I'm not saying that's the ideal way, but you can probably do this mediation in, let's say, a hotel room where you think all three of you would be conveniently reaching, যেটা সবার বাড়ির কাছাকাছি হবে, সবার জন্য আসার সুবিধা হবে. So that makes the entire process flexible. There are other parts to it as well, which throughout the entire training you will realize. Okay. Now confidentiality. What do you mean by confidentiality? It's okay, you can answer anything you think is right.
In a courtroom, you have to tell it in front of all the people. But if you do it in a hotel room, it will be confidentially between or among the parties, like the mediator and the party.
Okay, that's pretty correct. So you are basically not telling it out loud to the public. আমরা সবার সামনে আমাদের জিনিসটা বলছি না। এছাড়া আর কি? Okay, I have not used the word privacy. যেটা এখন আমরা ডিসকাস করলাম, that specifically means privacy. Jay, you do not tell it out in public. It's a private meeting, right? But I'm not using the word privacy. I'm using the word confidentiality. There has to be an added element to it.
So basically, it is very a confidential process in which apart from the parties, even the mediator would not disclose it to anybody, including the court, who has referred this matter to mediation. So that's between the mediator, and what she means is the confidence which has to be in the person who is going to resolve your dispute with your consent and voluntarily.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ram, for this wonderful insight. So basically what she's trying to highlight is confidentiality means it's in a private setting, of course, no one else gets to know. And also after that meeting gets over, no one else will ever get to know. So the people who are in mediation are in confidence with each other, so there is no leakage of any information outside that room. Let's say you enter into a mediation and you give out certain secrets which you wouldn't have in a court. Now what will happen? The other party knows it, the mediator knows it. What if they go to the court and say that, you know, he or she has already accepted, বলে দিয়েছে ও যে হ্যাঁ ও ভুল করেছে, এবার কি করা যায়? নিয়মটা হলো ওই রুমের মধ্যে যেটা বলা হবে সেটা কখনোই কোর্টে ইউজ করা যাবে না as evidence or as witness. Sometimes you write notes. The ideal way is to destroy it right after the thing ends. So if the parties settle, the only document you go out of the mediation room is with the settlement agreement, nothing else. And if it doesn't settle, then you go out with nothing. Okay? So the entire process is confidential. It's private and confidential, always. Okay? Now, moving on to the next one. It's neutral person. Now, I'll give you a brief difference between what neutrality and impartiality is. A lot of people use the word impartial. I prefer using the word neutral. Impartial basically means you're not biased towards someone. Let's say I am sitting as a mediator, or amar samne je parties ache, one person is a male and the other one is female. Okay? So, and it's a family dispute. So as basic human nature, I might tend to be more inclined towards the lady, because you know I think that women are suppressed, right? So that brings in my biasness towards someone, right? I am biased towards someone. See, as a mediator, I can't decide. So how can I be biased? I will let the lady speak more. ঠিক আছে, আমি যে পুরুষ মানুষটাকে আমি অতবার কথা বলতে দেব না, আমি মহিলাকে বারবার প্রশ্ন করব। আমি তো ডিসাইড করছি না, তাই জন্য আমার বায়াসনেস উইল নট লিড টু এনিথিং ফ্রুটফুল অ্যাট দ্য এন্ড অফ ইট। কোনো রকম ডিসিশন মেকিং এ আমার কোনো রোল নেই, কিন্তু থ্রু আউট দ্যাট প্রসেস আই মাইট বি মোর ইন্টারেস্টেড ইন হোয়াট দ্য লেডি ইজ সেইং, মেবি আই বি মোর ট্রাস্টিং হার, which is wrong. Okay, so you cannot be partial. Neutrality basically means is, now we can't change the facts that I am a lady, right? And one person is a lady and the other is a gents. Okay, so we can't change that fact. What we can change is that I will not be biased towards anyone. I will act as a neutral person. Let's say in the sense that I don't have any gender. Okay, so that I am not trying to push someone. That's a very slight difference between partiality and neutrality. Neutral means basically you do not react to anything. Okay? That's the third element. Now, they assist in a negotiated agreement. What the mediator does is basically facilitates a negotiation. This entire process is actually led by the parties. Parties right decide করবে, তারাই নিজেকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে গিয়ে ফাইনালি এগ্রিমেন্ট করতে চায় কি চায় না সেটা তারাই ডিসাইড করবে। মিডিয়েটর এখানে কি করছে? মিডিয়েটর তাদের কথা বলতে সাহায্য করছে। কিছুক্ষণ আগে স্যার বললেন না, আমরা তো সবাই বড় হয়ে গেছি, সবাই বুঝি কোনটা ঠিক কোনটা ভুল, তাহলে আমাদের একজন তৃতীয় ব্যক্তির কি প্রয়োজন? Why do we need that third person? Because we all know what is right and wrong. We need that person to assist us, to guide us through this entire route. We might know what is good and bad, but at that point of time, we definitely need assistance to have a conversation, to be able to negotiate, because sometimes we are not able to negotiate because we are stuck. And there comes this point of issue and position, which we'll deal with later again. Okay? So that's what it is. And then the final and the most important thing is parties are in ultimate control. Now when I say parties are in ultimate control, I do not mean that the parties are in ultimate control means that they can, probably sit there and abuse if they feel like. It doesn't mean that they can sit there and have biryani while the other person is talking. It doesn't mean they can hit the mediator if they feel like, because parties are in full control. No. That is not the case. What it means to say is that what you decide, how you go about it, if you want to settle or not, on what terms do you want to settle, that is controlled by the parties. The mediator can never force you to settle. The mediator can never say that this is right and this is wrong. It is the parties who decide. The process is controlled by the mediator. So as a mediator, I might want to do a lot of checks and balances, let's say like not use the phone. Later on, Madeline will be dealing with that. I don't want to overstep that as well. So she will tell you actually what are the roles, right? Are all the terms clear to everyone? There's no doubt. Kono সমস্যা নেই কিছু? Okay. That's flexibility means that the system can change in range and time frame. We have already discussed that. Confidentiality, we discussed that at length as well. Then neutrality, okay, which is a bit different from impartiality. Then party autonomy, which means that parties are in absolute power of the agreement and the settlement. অনেক সময় কি হয় আমরা ভাবি যে মিডিয়েশনে যদি সেটেলমেন্ট এগ্রিমেন্ট না হয়ে থাকে তার মানে মিডিয়েশন ফেল করে গেল। That's not always the case. That's not really true. Now let's say we have a divorce matter at table and we feel that a successful mediation would mean that they do not file divorce anymore, because that's what we think as a society, right? Je na divorce korlo na mane ebar thik ache, but that might not be the case. Let's say that they actually settle through that mediation about the child custody, they settle about maintenance, and then they decide to go and file the divorce together. That also precisely means that your mediation is successful. The success of the mediation basically means that the parties have resolved their conflict. পুরোটাও হতে পারে, তার কিছুটা ভাগও হতে পারে, কিন্তু তারা কিছুটা সাহায্য পেয়েছে। Okay, so never feel, if you start doing mediation, never feel that if the parties do not settle, I have to force them, nana, are এতটুকু ছেড়ে করে না, or we generally use this word called compromise, which is a totally no. We do not compromise in mediation. We accommodate, we collaborate. Compromise is a negative thing. Nobody compromises. You will never compromise. What you do is you accommodate. You let others' interests also come in a bit. And then you sit together and discuss how to resolve it together. So you collaborate. Like how we saw the donkey diagram, remember? Okay.
No, donkey accepts to collaborate because it can just kick back, not sideways. That is the very purpose of that picture. If it is a horse, normally horses also has been considered for this illustration.
Right.
It kicks in the sideways.
Okay. So arbitration would be the sideway
No.
kicking case. We are talking
All sides.
about-
That is all sides.
Okay. So the other characteristics, as I said, voluntary, impartial, non-coercive, and the process is controlled by the mediator. Okay. These are the other characteristics, but those were the main characteristics that you need to understand and imbibe in your mediation practice. Now, when we deal in mediation, we look into the three aspects of a conflict. Okay? This is called the conflict triangle. The three aspects are people, process, and the problem. By people, what we mean is, as a person, individually, irrespective of anything, you have certain characteristic traits, okay? Probably because of your gender, probably because of the way you were brought up, probably because the language you use, right? You have a history and you have a story to yourself, irrespective of anything. আমি যেখানে দাঁড়িয়ে আছি আমার পিছনে কিছু একটা কাহিনী আছে, আমি এরকম কেন, আমি এইভাবে কেন কথা বলি, ঠিক আছে, আমি এই পোশাকটা কেন পরেছি, এর পিছনে একটা কাহিনী আছে, ঠিক আছে? So that part of the history makes that part of this triangle, okay? Then there is process. Process basically means how am I dealing with this entire situation? How do I react? How do I talk? How do I take this thing ahead? I might be a very soft-spoken person. I might be a very arrogant person. Okay, I might not be, very, what do I say, expressive. I might be using my hands, hands a lot, and that might be offensive to someone else. Okay, যে ও এত হাত নাড়ি কথা বলে কেন? হতেই পারে সেটা। তো প্রসেসটা বেসিক্যালি একটা মানুষ কিভাবে নিয়ে যাচ্ছে, there are points, how people communicate issues and feelings, what are the structure, system and procedures. যে আমার now what happens is basically, as I said, that the mediation is controlled, the process is controlled by the mediator. তাতে কি হচ্ছে, আমার মিডিয়েশন রুমের ধরন একটা, আরেকজনের মিডিয়েশনের রুমের ধরন আরেকটা আলাদা রকম হতে পারে, তার স্ট্রাকচারটা আলাদা হতে পারে। আমি হয়তো খুশি না যে আপনারা মোবাইল ফোন ইউজ করুন যখন আপনারা আসবেন, কেউ হয়তো বলবে না ঠিক আছে অসুবিধা নেই, ঠিক আছে, সেই জিনিসগুলো তো ভ্যারি করে, সেই হিসেবে জিনিসগুলো আলাদা। Okay, now norms about how to behave, decision making, roles and jobs. So what you are doing and how you are actually taking it ahead. Now the problem basically is the real problem. What is that conflict about? What are the issues? What are your facts? Because your facts might vary totally from the other person's facts, because you have a certain perspective, you have seen the things a certain way, the other person has seen it in a different way. Okay, what is that? What are your interests and what are your needs? Need is something which you need. You cannot let go. Okay, now let's say I have a dispute regarding a house. My need at that time is to have a shelter. আমার চাই, আমার ঘর নেই, আমার বাড়ি চাই, আমাকে থাকতে হবে কোথাও, রাইট? হোয়াট মাই ইন্টারেস্ট উড বি, যদি আমি ঢাকা শহরে বাড়িটা পেতে পারতাম। ওকে, সো দ্যাটস দ্য ডিফারেন্স। Okay, then we have then there are other couple of things like solutions. What is your version of the solution of the problem that you have? Let's say your problem's solution is basically to have a house in Dhaka. Okay, that is your version of the solution. So you want that and you are leading towards that. That is your demand. Okay, we will get into all of these details more and more once we dwell much more into the system of mediation and deal more with the process. Okay, so
Sorry, Brian.
yes,
Can you go back to the donkey?
the donkey one.
Yeah, my understanding of the donkey, they accommodates the interest condition issue.
Right.
Yeah, because the donkeys have maintained their position, which did not help. But finally, when they remembered about their interest,
Right.
they collaborated and then that was
They put yes, definitely. I wanted to get with the orange story as well, but then that's like too much into the process already. So I let that be. Yes, definitely, that's true. So I would just give a brief summary of what Sir wanted to say is basically he said that donkeys have a fixed position. একজন ভাবছে আমার ডান দিক, একজন ভাবছে আমার বাঁ দিক, ঠিক আছে, এটাই আমার পজিশন ফিক্সড। কিন্তু ধীরে ধীরে যখন ওরা একসাথে আসলো, ওরা বুঝলো যে না, আমার পজিশনটা হলো খাবার, আমার ইস্যুটা কি, আমার খিদে পেয়েছে, আমার খেতে হবে, ওই দিকেও খাবার আছে, এই দিকেও খাবার আছে, তাহলে আমরা একসাথে গিয়ে খেলে আমাদের খিদেটা মিটবে। প্রথম জায়গাটা কি হলো, পজিশনটা হলো যে আমি বাঁ দিকের ওই পাতাটাই খাবো, ইস্যুটা কি, আমার খিদে পেয়েছে। So once you move from that to this, you actually start going ahead, moving forward. Okay, so what are the advantages and disadvantages of mediation? In the brief way, can someone just tell me, please don't read the slide. Just আমাকে এমনি বলুন কি কি advantage, disadvantage হতে পারে? Advantage কি কি? Mediation. Saving time, right? And
Both can be benefited.
both benefits. Okay.
It saves money.
Saves money. And so if you want to save money, time,
Informal process.
sorry,
Informal process.
that's a benefit. Okay, can you explain how is that a benefit?
We need not to know the a critical rule of law, and I can express my opinion without any pleaded and I can directly contact with my another against party, and
That's really great. Actually, he's given a very, very good point. So, since it's an informal process, anyone can participate. Okay, it's not restricted to somebody. So, it doesn't give away or shun away a certain category of people. আমরা কাউকে বাদ দিয়ে দিই না, সবাই এটাতে পার্টিসিপেট করতে পারে, কারণ কি তাকে শুধু তার বক্তব্যটা এসে জানাতে হবে, রাইট? Am I correct, right in putting it? Okay. Now, what are the disadvantages of this?
It's not binding.
It's not binding. Okay. Okay.
Ultimately,
Not good for lawyers.
Probably it's good for lawyers, is what I would argue to that. Because we have so many cases pending. So what we do is we talk about docket explosion, which means যে এতগুলো কেস আছে, ঠিক আছে, কোর্টে এগুলোকে সলভ করে দেওয়া উচিত, উকিলেরা ভাবে সলভ হয়ে গেলে আমরা কি নিয়ে যুদ্ধ করব? But we always forget is the docket exclusion, which means that you have crores of more cases which do not come to your court because they do not believe, because they are all afraid of going to the court. So if you solve the cases that you have at hand, you will get 10 times more cases. So probably that's what I would argue to it not being good for lawyers.
Unless
I-
and
But for the
until that
councils, it's a
process is-
disadvantage.
No, unless and until it doesn't goes to be a pro bono.
No, of course, no, it shouldn't be a pro bono process. Actually, that's one not a very great
The
practice. we are doing.
disadvantage mainly what I see is people look at it as a pro bono process and to a short ending process. So the seriousness or even the lawyers look at it in a different way, and mainly I see the lawyers demotivating the parties not to settle. So the
Right.
added that's the major disadvantage of this process.
Right. No, that's definitely true. That's precisely because half of the people see mediation as a compromise. It's like an out of court. So what we generally do in talking terms is, oh, it's just a court, it's just a settlement. Go talk now. If you can settle, then let it be. No, that's how we think about it. But that's not really the case. There's an entire science behind mediation and as to why this works. And had it not been working, the first world countries wouldn't have been using it. We are not doing any master stroke by saying that this is not worthy. There are people who are doing it and actually benefiting from it. So probably we should buck up and learn and then do it in the right way. But that's actually precisely what is correct, because people think this is informal, so they are not that serious about the process. Also, there's a lot of confusion as to what to expect in a mediation room. Okay, sometimes it's just that the mediator will say, just settle and let it be. He wants 30,000, you want to give 20,000, settle for 25, no, and done. No, that's not what mediation is, okay? That's not
As
what
as lawyers also, they can try to put one major disadvantage when it comes to mediation. They can just, I think most of you are lawyers.
Yeah.
All are lawyers, I think, no? One major disadvantage is in mediation.
According to me, most of the time is taken as a mere formality. That it's like if it's a first process, so it's just taken as a formality that okay, you get into mediation, if it won't get settled
As-
at all.
Yeah, as
And
lawyers,
I-
as lawyers, one thing to just supplement her, which is very essential in the final part of the dispute resolution, which is the final part of any dispute resolution. I think some people are here,
And personally.
judges are there. Enforcement. Enforceability of any conclusion, whether it's decision or resolution or judgment or award or negotiated settlement. When it comes to enforcement, whether mediation is in the disadvantageous position or advantageous position.
Sir, here I would like to add.
There is, yes, you might add and then I'll add as well.
Like if we make on the stamp paper under section 73 of Arbitration Conciliation Act, it is having that
Enforceable.
It's an
Okay,
effect as an
fine,
award.
fine. Very
Yes.
interesting thing has started.
There should not be a debate between arbitration and mediation.
No, please understand, we are coming from the subcontinent. Hope all of you, we are from the same region. In our region, we have a concept called conciliation also. Please understand, conciliation is predominantly used mostly in our labor disputes also. In our earlier British legislations, we had conciliation. But the concept of mediation is a Western concept, which was what you can say, it has slightly diluted the principles of conciliation with total flexible procedure, the confidentiality, the negotiated settlement. But we are still using the word negotiated settlement, but we are not using the word which one as actually in this definition should be, whether it is a negotiated settlement or a mediated settlement.
Sir, every negotiation is like.
No. In this definition, in the CEDR,
Hmm.
it is a UK-based non-profit organization, wherein they just use the word negotiated settlement. They not use the word mediated settlement. They not use the word.
Let me
No,
clarify
anyway,
why.
she'll supplement. I just completed. No, you all lawyers have to understand, because this is a wonderful ADR mechanism. Whether it is enforceable or not, still it facilitates the harmonious society, and ultimately we have to develop. It is all about the society's growth and harmonious living and peaceful living. We need not have disputes, whether it's commercial disputes or it's a conflict between nations or some racial conflicts. All the dispute have to be resolved. To resolve, the best part is mediation. There is no doubt. Any disputes can be resolved by mediation. Please, all of you, take this in mind. Any dispute. There is no restriction except some criminal issues, because that has to be taken by the state, because it is a collapse of the society. But any dispute can be taken to mediation. But the only thing, as lawyers, we think in a different perspective when it comes to enforceability. And for enforceability also, my colleague has mentioned that it will be taken to another provision under the law, because in India we have ADR brought in one law, that is Arbitration Conciliation Act. But here in Bangladesh it is Arbitration Act alone. Still you have conciliation, but that mediated settlement agreement or the negotiated agreement can be taken as a conciliated settlement agreement, and it can be enforced. In that way it is fine. But we are not concerned about all the things, whether it is going to be enforced or whether it is going to be taken to the courts, all sort of things. The only thing is that our society should have a concept called win-win situation. Ultimately, both the parties have to win. They are not going to compromise, they are not going to change the position, whatever might be, but ultimately it has to be win-win. Both the parties have to be satisfied. For having a satisfied solution, we need to have a negotiated settlement. That negotiated settlement is facilitated by a independent third person. That is the mantra of the entire concept of mediation. But the disadvantage is there. Still it is there when it comes to enforcement. For that, anyway, Iran would take upon the Singapore Protocol on Mediation, which was recently signed in August. She was there. And Singapore Protocol of Mediation is going to at least bring international mediation settlement to be enforced, if the laws are going to be implemented in every country. Thank you, Priyanka.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for your insights. Yes, of course, enforcement is a problem. As a hardcore mediator, and since I have been doing research on mediation for probably last 3 years now, what I believe is if you have actually resolved the conflict, it is the settlement there, because the parties are at conflict, and if you satisfy the parties with their conflict, then who is going to raise it further? So that will be the ideal situation, but we do not live in such a vacuum society, because there would be some neighbor poking at you, some lawyer friend giving you more advice, somebody from somewhere telling you something that is not right.
Genuinely also certain things can go wrong.
Yes. So all of that is there, but yes, of course, 73, as Iram ma'am pointed out, that's there. Singapore also had this one concept of arb med arb, which sir might be knowing. So what they used to do is, you can revoke the arbitration clause. Well, that's too technical, but there are ways to enforce it, is what I would say. Okay, so don't be disheartened. You can practice and then you can enforce it for sure. So the disadvantage, I would say, is another one which I thought sir would point out was basically that you do not set precedents when you do mediation, and that's a big disadvantage for lawyers, because we are a common law country and we derive half of our law and legal system from precedents, right? So if we do not have a court giving judgment, we do not have the interpretation of certain laws.
See, but then you cannot include precedents in it. It is just not a viable option to have them, as in each case is going to be different. Ultimately, what we are looking at is a confidentiality, secrecy, and the independence of the dispute. we're not taking it to the dispute level where the dispute is getting resolved. So then setting a precedent or referring to
I'd
that
like to
matter,
add,
it's out of question.
Yeah,
No, no,
Manish
yes.
is absolutely right. I would like to add one thing, that where in the matters where we don't want to set a precedent, that comes for the mediation.
No, definitely. That's
That's
definitely true.
certainly
That's what I'm
beyond.
saying. So that's one part of it. Okay. So mediation does not give precedence. We do not want precedence from mediation, as ma'am pointed out, because it's confidential. You cannot have that, right? But that is probably somewhere. So if we have too much of mediation over cases where we need precedence, yes, sir. I'll just wrap up. Okay. So in a mediation room, in an ideal settlement, in an ideal situation, you need the mediator. You need the parties at conflict. If they want to have an advocate with them, you need to make them sit beside the parties. Okay. Can you see the room? This is an ideal mediation room setup. Okay. So there's the mediator at the center, and then there are parties, and then the lawyers or probably a relative if they want to. Okay. That's there, and what has to be noted is that the height of the chairs are same, so everybody's sitting at the same level. Everybody is equal in the room. You just I'm sorry. So yeah, so basically the chairs are of the same pattern and everything. Okay. Now thank you for your time. It was lovely to speak to all of you, and I hope that we can discuss further throughout the entire training. Now I will hand it over to Asha ma'am for the next session. Thank you so much, and
So
have a
anybody
great
has a question
training.
about why it is equal and why it has to be mediator sit is not different.
He's not a judge.
You're also sitting at the parties level and understanding, and one of them, basically one of them.
Yeah, basically, since the parties are in control of the process and the mediator is helping them negotiate, so basically the mediator does not sit in a higher place or in a place where he is authoritative. What happens is, if you see in an ideal joint family also, the head of the table sits in a bigger chair at the center of it because he's the person who commands. What happens in mediator is the mediator is sitting at the center because he's controlling the things, but he never commands.
Priyanka,
So he's at the equal.
there's one thing you forgot to tell them. Lawyers don't make very good mediators. Judges don't make very good mediators, but they can make good administrators. But lawyers can be trained to be good mediators.
Good mediators, yes.
And about precedent, actually what we forget is that mediation came before precedent.
I'm not being feminist here, but the women can be good mediators.
No, yes, that's actually true. So what he meant is, you might not have precedence of interpretation of law, but you can have precedence for mediation saying that these pattern of cases go good with mediation. Okay, so we are setting precedence in a different way. Thank you so much, sir. That's a very interesting insight to that angle of the story. Okay.